Triple coverage. All right, y'all. Everybody's back. Full crew is here in the building. We got a full set. Ravens fan is back in the building.
Welcome back. Wait on that, boy. I can wait on that.
Man, we love you.
Yeah, a bunch of losers.
Bro, we love you, bro.
Yeah, a bunch of losers.
Yep. My brother, man. Glad to have you back.
Yeah.
So
we still here. We still rapping.
I got everybody else with me. Andrew, what's going on, my boy?
What's going on?
Mr. Steve is in the building.
Yo.
David Hayes is in the building.
What's going on with y'all?
Smooth.
I'm depressed.
I know it, bro. I know it. We're going to get straight into it.
Man.
Good to see y'all, boys. We'd like to welcome everybody to Speak Your Peace podcast. And if you're watching right now, please subscribe to the channel, like, share, do everything y'all can, because we getting ready to get into it tonight. First topic. Let's get straight to it, y'all. We all know who won the Super Bowl. Mr. Patrick Mahomes himself, 3-time Super Bowl champion, has done it again. Sad to say the 49ers lost it. But the question is, though, who is to blame? Is it Kyle Shanahan or would you say Steve Wilks? And to those who watching, if you don't know who Steve Wilks is, he was the former defensive coordinator for the 49ers, and he got fired. So, Smooth, you know I'm going to have to start with you. Who is to blame for your team? Is it Kyle Shanahan or Steve Wilks?
That's a loaded question. because I don't blame Steve Wilks for us losing the game, but he had to go. And a lot of people I guess they say that or they're saying in the media that Steve Wilks got fired because they lost the Super Bowl. Steve Wilks did not get fired because they lost the Super Bowl. Steve Wilks got fired, and the Super Bowl was just the last reason why he had to go. It was multiple times throughout the year where we're getting beat on defense, and he's not making adjustments. He hasn't made adjustments, and Shanahan, the offensive coordinator and the head coach, is having to tell him, "All right, hey, you got to do something different. You know, we're getting exposed here. Do something different." And there's no reason why so many times throughout the year where Shanahan is having to tell him to make adjustments. You are the defensive coordinator. It got so bad, after our 3-game losing streak in the middle of the season. Steve Wilks, a lot of people don't know. I guess if you don't watch the 49ers a lot, he used to coach from the booth. And after we lost those 3 games in a row, Shanahan told him to bring his behind downstairs on the field. And it's a shame that you could look at the numbers and you'll say, okay, they're very similar to the defensive numbers we had last year when DeMeco Ryans was the coach, but we just look different. And the numbers isn't the whole story. And when you have this talented roster, which I say is more talented on defense than last year, despite whatever injuries we had, like there's no reason why we couldn't dominate more than we did last year, or we couldn't execute more than we did last year. And the coaching was a big reason. So he coached a pretty good game on Sunday. So I'm not going to blame him for the loss on Sunday, but he had to go. And since Shanahan, I guess you only got 2 names up there. Who's to blame? I guess the only name you could pick is Shanahan. I don't really blame Shanahan for the loss. I got another. When the game is that close, I guess there's some blame that can go around. But I guess if I had to pick one, I would say Shanahan. And the one thing I didn't like that Shanahan did in overtime. I ain't have a problem with him taking the ball first, but if you're gonna do that, you got to get a touchdown. You have to try and score a touchdown, because you can't give Patrick Mahomes the ball every down, every possession. For Patrick Mahomes is 4 downs. It's 4 down territory everywhere he goes after that. So, I feel like he had instead of going for the field goal, they should have just tried to go for the score, and then trust your defense after that. But that's the only thing I would hope. I have some other reasons why the 49ers lost, and it was from the team that was wearing the black and the white, but I'll discuss that later.
Good point. Good points. Good point. All right, Steve, let's get your thoughts, man.
Oh Lord. Here we go.
Here you go.
As
Here you go.
Skip
Hold
say,
Big.
my turn.
Uh-oh.
So,
Uh-oh.
Let's go, Steve. Let's do it, buddy.
so looking at who's to blame, I'm blaming Kyle Shanahan, Mr. Offensive Genius, boy wonder. So once again, his offense sputters. So you're looking at the first quarter, they come out the gate running. They look like they're about to curb stomp KC, and then all of a sudden it's just one thing after another, notwithstanding the punt and all that other nonsense. But this is an offense where this guy's a genius. You got all pros where their eyes can see, and yet halftime, 10 points in halftime when they had all these advantages they could have got in the first half. And they were using CMC, Christian McCaffrey. So you go to the third quarter, San Fran 10, KC 3. For 3 straight possessions, Mr. Kyle Genius Shanahan did nothing. Mahomes interception, ball to KC 44. 3 straight passes, 59-second time of possession, nothing. Punt number 2 to the San Fran 35-yard line. 3 straight passes, 1 minute and 43 seconds time possession. And the third punt to the 25-yard line, 1 carry, no gain, 2 passes, 1 minute time possession. So 3 straight with only 1 run, and you're not even burning any clock. And it's only a 7-point lead. So you're basically giving KC so many chances. It's like in baseball, you foul, keep hitting the ball, foul. You just can't strike them out. And you gave him too many chances. And then later on overtime, then you want to give McCaffrey the ball. So he disappears. Majority of the game, even though he fumbled, he disappeared. What's his face? Your receiver didn't get any play, hardly neither. Ayuk didn't get much. Debo got 1 billion targets. I was out there with the boom box doing his little trap rap thing. He does nothing. Same thing. Gets hurt again. But then the defense holds Patrick Mahomes and them to under 20 points. They really had him on the ropes, but the offense just couldn't muster anything and take advantage. And I'm looking at Shanahan where I know McCaffrey fumbled, but that's your best player. Keep feeding him the rock or change your pace. Give it to Elijah Mitchell. Or I think Jordan Mason, who's a pretty big back, that might give him a few carries that might wear down the defensive line of the Chiefs, potentially. Maybe switch it up a bit. Throw some wrinkles in. But it seemed like, the whole thing is the narrative. Is Purdy game manager? Is he a clutch guy? It seemed like he fell into that trap again. The same thing he did with Jimmy G. The same thing, my man, the Ravens a few weeks prior. Falling into the media trap. Just play the game. Give it to your best player. And so the time possession, they could have easily bled the clock many times and keep away. But the game just kept speeding up and going too fast. And you're giving Mahomes way too many opportunities. And, Wilkes, with his defense, too much soft zone. You can't back off these receivers, these guys, and give them like 10 yards to start with. And you're going to die by like 1,000 paper cuts, dinking and dunking, 5 yards, 6 yards, 7 yards. And that's what happened. Mahomes is dinking and dunking in overtime while they played off him. There's no bump and run, nothing aggressive. And so Wilkes, he had his share of that cover defense where they had to say, you know what, I don't like that. We're doing something different. Yeah, he had a share of that. But the defense did their job when you really do think about it. But the offense they should have put 40 on them. They had that opportunity, and they didn't do anything. And so I put the blame on Kyle Shanahan for the game overall. I thought that overtime, he was fine. Honestly, I'm taking the ball. Defense needed to rest because they were gassed. So, why would you give the ball to Mahomes and then, he's got 4 downs, all that? Everybody's got 4 downs. That's nonsense. You give Mahomes the ball, he scores, you're behind him. Now you're giving Purdy all the pressure. Could you imagine all the pressure? He throws a pick. Next day, they're going to roast Shanahan for that. Why do you put Purdy in that predicament? Blah, blah, blah. take the ball, score, and you put the pressure back on the Chiefs, especially if the Chiefs were showing that day they were making many mistakes and they were off their game. And you may have run into an interception, 4 downs, or whatever have you. So I think Wilkes, some lapses and some defensive judgment, but Kyle Shanahan, Falcons, he did it. And then the same first Super Bowl of the Chiefs, same thing. He didn't run the ball. He wanted to throw and get cute, and he got caught up in the hype, and he lost again. He's 0-3. Buffalo Bills territory. Only difference is it's not 4 straight, but he still has 3 losses on his resume. So that's who I'm blaming.
Well, you did your homework, Steve. Well, you dissected that. Well, you came prepared, bro. That's some good points, bro. Very good points. All right, who next? David? Who you gonna blame, bro?
I'm gonna blame this man, Kyle Shanahan. What's the definition of insanity? Doing the same thing, expecting a different result. We go back to when he was with the Atlanta Falcons. What didn't he do? Run the football. First time they faced the Chiefs, what he stopped doing? Running the football. Mm-hmm. And in this game, you had plenty of opportunities to run the football to put the game away. In the second half, you had the ball. Didn't they have the ball first the second half?
The Chiefs
did.
Chiefs did.
But even then, the Chiefs didn't even score. So what you had the opportunity to do? Run the football. When you run the football and you have the lead, you run out the clock. There was multiple situations where he had the opportunity to do that. Also, at the end of the fourth quarter, when they had the ball last, what he had the opportunity to do? Run the football. You had the ball with 5 minutes left. You was averaging 5 yards on that drive, probably about 5 yards a carry, and you decided to do a play action. Why you started to do a play action? You was getting 5 yards. If you would have did that throughout the whole drive, you would have ended the game right there. And the fact that, they call him boy genius. Sometimes you can outsmart yourself, and that's what he did in this game. He outsmarted himself, trying to think that, they're going to fall for the play action, and then, we're going to get the first down. But that didn't happen. But yeah, he just stopped running the football. And the thing about Kyle Shanahan, he's not good in situational football. The fact that you waited to overtime in order to establish the run again, which is crazy, because like I said, you could have ended the game when they had the last drive, when they had the ball last, but they kicked it back to KC and they went down and scored the field goal to tie the game. And I would say this about Steve Wilkes: he played great up until they had to that last drive before overtime. Like Steve said, they were playing so far off, which is crazy. Why would you play far off? You see Patrick Mahomes taking the check down, play up. And even when they blitz, they still was like 5 to 10 yards, like 10 yards off the ball. When you blitz, you don't want to have that many people off the ball because, that's so much space that the players have to work with. They can get a first down easily and get out of bounds. So I just felt like Steve Wilkes, he had a great game. It's not his fault. But at the end of the day, he had to put some blame on Steve Wilkes because he didn't put no pressure on the receivers at the end of the game. But yeah.
Good take, bro. Jet.
It's Big Jet. Come on now.
Big Jet.
But
all right, Lamar, tell us what you got, bro. Kyle Shanahan or Steve Wilkes?
I'm gonna go with. I hate to regurgitate points, but I'm gonna go with Kyle Shanahan too. If this was the game prior, and we talk about Detroit, definitely Steve Wilkes. But Shanahan in this situation, as David said, they've been in the same situation before. They've been up 10 against the same opponent. So it's like if you put in the same situation again, now okay, I got to capitalize. I can do whatever I got to do. You got to learn from the previous loss. So for you to lose in almost like the same fashion, I don't know. It baffles me because it's like where do you go from here? Now I do got to give him his flowers in the sense of you took a second-year quarterback to a Super Bowl and you took Jimmy Garoppolo to a Super Bowl, and I think that's why Wilkes is the scapegoat in this situation because it's like we're not firing Shanahan because what could you get out there that's available that's better than Shanahan? But at the same time, yeah, that blame goes on him. Um, yeah, I just don't know where you go from here.
Mm-hmm. Good point. Drew, who to blame, bro?
Well, definitely Kyle Shanahan, hands down. It's interesting as the game was approaching. One of the things I wrote on my Facebook post about this game is that if it came down to coaching, kicking, or the quarterback, the advantage would go to Kansas City. And in regards to Shanahan, I think we talked about this before, how much pressure he was under just because of what happened the two previous times. And as was already mentioned, Steve took a number of my points. We talk a lot, on the side anyway about these kinds of things. I kind of knew where he was going with this, but only running the ball once in the third quarter, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
Yeah, that's inexcusable. And I think for the game, CMC had about 22 carries, and that includes overtime. Yeah, he needed to have like 35 plus. Like, there's no tomorrow. Run that man left, right, up the middle. You just leave everything out there. I think 22 carries is way too light. I know he didn't have a lot of large gashes, but he still had about 3.6 per carry.
Mm-hmm.
That's still pretty good. That's what, every 3 times or so was a first down. So I definitely think, again, not running the football. I don't know why. They had the advantage. They dominated for over 40 minutes of the game until that special teams play, which changed basically everything. But again, Wilkes was just made the scapegoat of that. And if you're not going to fire the coach, you have to fire somebody, right? But after a while, it's going to turn on Shanahan now. It's like, okay, now you've been in this spot 3 times, once as a coordinator, twice as head coach. You blew it. Are you the person to take them over the top? We've seen it in other sports where coaches get let go because they don't believe they're the ones that take them over the top. We saw it in Golden State with Mark Jackson. They didn't think he was the guy to take Golden State over the top, and they made them move the curve, right? Mm-hmm. Same thing, in Cleveland, David Blatt, they decided to change from him and go to Tyronn Lue, and we saw what happened there. So at some point, they really need the front office. They really needs to ask themselves. And I know Kyle Shanahan's a great play caller and all, but is he the one to lead San Fran to the promised land?
Mm-hmm.
That's the question.
Good point. And for me, like I said, I'm gonna agree with y'all, man. Like, and I said on the last show, CMC is the head of the snake, and I don't know why they stopped running the ball in the second half. Obviously, if you run the ball, you keep Patrick Mahomes on the sideline. That's what you do with great quarterbacks. We've seen that over the years with the Tom Brady's of the world and so forth. But Kyle Shanahan, believe it or not, bro, he has a big ego. And I'm going to just say this. With my team, yeah, we blew a 28-3 lead. But they interviewed Kyle Shanahan on why he didn't run the ball. And y'all know what his answer was? I'm going to tell y'all. This joker said, I was trying to keep up with Tom Brady.
What?
Right.
What?
Right.
What?
So with that being said, it shows you that are you coaching or is your feelings involved? Because when you have coaching, you're going to do the smart thing, right? Run the ball. But I feel like he tries to show himself that, this is my team. I'm going to run it how I run it. I'm going to put my players in situations to succeed. You know what I'm saying? Instead of doing the smart play. And I feel like that's what cost him. So for me, I'm going to blame Kyle Shanahan. You've been to 2 Super Bowls and you blew both of them. And you want to include my team, even though he was the offensive coordinator, he blew that one as well. But I just feel that with that talent on the San Francisco 49ers, with Christian McCaffrey, like I said, being the head of the snake, and you don't even give the guy a chance to run the ball that second half as he did the first half, you went away from it. Mm-hmm. I mean, Brock Purdy, he actually played decent. He played well to me.
Yeah, he did.
Yes, he did.
Yeah, and he has earned my respect. So I'm not gonna bash him because he did take his team to the Super Bowl, but that's another topic for another day. But I just feel like Kyle Shanahan went from running the ball to trying to keep up with Patrick Mahomes. And then I'm gonna end it on this. Whenever a player on the team says that they didn't know what the overtime rules was, that falls on your head coach. I'm sorry.
Mhm.
I mean, you had 2 weeks to prepare for the biggest game of your career, and your players didn't know overtime rules. Come on, bro. That's on Shanahan. I mean, how you don't let your players know that? So that's just my take on it. So I blame Shanahan for that. And like Andrew said, when are we going to start looking at him? You know what I'm saying? To blame. If he gets to another bowl and he loses again, I don't think he'll be around. But any final comments before we move on to the next topic? All right, Steve.
You think about coaching, it's interesting. A lot of these old school guys, you were saying that they play to win the game. They do the smart stuff. It's like a lot of these new guys, this whole ego thing. It's like, well, I want to be smarter than everybody else. I want to prove. I want to this. Like, just win the stupid game. Just go out to win because that's what you're supposed to do. And I'm looking at GMs, like as an Eagles fan, I'm looking at, Jeffrey Lurie and the other end, the GM Roseman. Can someone make a phone call to the field and say, look, I don't like this. Y'all need to change it. If you don't change it by the mid-game, run the ball, then by the end of this game, y'all fired.
Mm-hmm.
But the owner, Jerry Jones, we get at him because he meddles a lot, too much. But I'd say in this instance, I'm an owner, I'm making a phone call to Shanahan. Yo, what are you guys doing? You're going to blow this.
Yep.
You blow this, y'all gone. So get right and do the right thing. First quarter, 5 carries, and then after that, 2 carries, 1 carry, 2 carries, and OT, 6 carries. You took your best guy out the game. What are you doing?
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I wonder upstairs, the GM, and now we hear a lot of rumbling about analytics. They're now infiltrating football. These bunch of nerds. If there's any nerd computer guys on here, I do not be offended. Please don't cancel me.
Hey, real quick, y'all, before we move on, I had a point too. And I think I told somebody this. Now, and this is for Smooth too. So the best receiver on the 49ers is Brandon Ayuk. To me.
Mm-hmm.
To me, he's the best receiver on it. He's better than Debo because Debo to me is a gadget player. He's gonna do everything. Brandon Ayuk didn't even. I don't even think Brandon Ayuk really
Yeah,
had like how many catches?
3.
3.
Yeah.
I was gonna say 3, 4 catches. That's unacceptable. And guess what? He's on the contract year, so he may not come back. His brother went on social media saying that pretty much, we out the door. Deuces.
I'll take him in Florham Park.
Hey,
I will take him in a heartbeat.
I'll take him too. I'll put him on my Falcons real quick. Dude, I mean, he's one of the most underrated receivers for real in the league.
Yeah,
like, he can ball. And to me, I mean, to him to have 3 catches, that's unacceptable. Go ahead, Smooth.
Yes, like I don't want to, I know we lost, but I still got to give props to that Kansas City defense, man. And that Kansas City secondary is elite.
It is.
So it's not like Ayuk didn't come the ball. Like, a lot of times, like these 3rd and 4th receivers probably look like they had the better game because Debo was locked down. Ayuk was locked down a lot of the games. So now you got Juwan Jennings getting catches and other dudes getting catches. So, it just is what it is. But, at the end of the day, it's not like we got blown out. Like we went to overtime. So it could have been anything. It could have been anything that caused the tables to turn a little bit. But it was a close game. We were in it. I personally believe that we should have won it. There was some very, very questionable calls by the referees on some key 3rd downs on our defense, where that offensive line wasn't just holding us, but they were giving us warm embraces. It was ridiculous. Yeah. When I get the opportunity, if y'all give me your Instagram, I'll send you this little post that one of the 49ers fans I saw on Instagram where there were like 4 separate plays on third down where 2 of them where the offensive linemen for the Chiefs are hugging Nick Bosa. Another one where they're holding Fred Warner, and another one where they're holding Hargrove. And it's not just like regular holds, like they're holding them down to the ground. So the fact that the refs are letting things like that go, I understand you want to let people play the game, but it's kind of egregious. When I saw that, it was it just like changed my perception of the game. And I'm not one to say, oh, the NFL is rigged, but these are like glaring calls that a novice football fan can see. Hey, that's holding. So the fact that you missed that, it almost looked like you weren't looking. But it is what it is. We lost. You take your lumps, take your ball, and go home.
Yeah, but yeah, I just feel like Brandon Ayuk had to. I look back on the highlights, bro. I just felt like they just didn't scheme him the way they should have. And I may be biased because he was on my fantasy team, and I had, but he had games where Joker just went off, stupid crazy, and then he had games where he had 4 or 5 catches, and that was during the regular season. And I don't know why Shanahan don't target him as much as he do Debo.
But I can agree with what Chris said though, Cody, because if you really look at it, the receivers weren't getting open. Besides Jennings, the receivers weren't really getting open like that.
That's probably schematic.
Yeah, and at certain points at the time, also Spags was calling blitzes where Purdy couldn't recognize it, so he really couldn't get to his receivers like that at certain situations. So that's part of it too.
Yeah. But that's what happens when you don't run the ball. They just gonna blitz you.
Hey, one more point too.
Get Bridget.
Yeah.
Last but not least, you get 2 turnovers on a Patrick Mahomes led offense in the playoffs. I mean, I feel like you did your job as a defensive coordinator. So, I mean, like you said, you got to capitalize on that, especially the fact that Wilkes, this was his first situation being in this, and then this is, very identical to the last situation against the same team.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead, Drew. You last one before we get to the next one.
Yeah, just in regards to just a couple of things regarding each of the people listed there. Regarding Shanahan, actually, let me get to with Steve Wilkes. There were about 2 or 3 plays in the game where the same formation, I think even CBS even showed it, where it was like a 3rd and short, it was a 4th and 1 in overtime, and then the game-winning touchdown to Harmon. Very similar to what we saw last year in Super Bowl 57 that ended up in 2 touchdowns against the Eagles last year. Similar formation. Harmon comes, stops on a dime, and goes back out. I don't know how. Again, 2 weeks to prepare and didn't prepare for that. And each time Bosa went under, Mahomes went over. I just don't understand. Just from that standpoint to expect that, because that has been money for the Chiefs. That's I could put the blame on him for that. Yeah, I forget my point about Shanahan, but that's what I really wanted to point out in regards to Wilkes.
Good point. And that play used to be for Tyreek Hill 2 years ago. Yeah. But let's move on to the next one, y'all. So, of course, the Chiefs have won it again. But can they do it again? And again. And again. 3 times. Now, we all know as NFL fans, historians of the game, that has never been done before. But can Patrick Mahomes do this for the first time in NFL history? Let's get y'all points on this. David, we'll start with you on this one.
Unfortunately, yes, I think he can three-peat. One, that defense is great. I mean, they're the real reason why they won the Super Bowl and why they had so much run in their playoffs. 2, they're going to get better with wide receivers. It's not going to look as this bad as it did this year. And really, their run game is pretty good. It's not great, but it's good with Pacheco. And you can also see that probably Rice is going to take a step up. So, they probably going to get somebody in free agency and wide receiver. Their defense is still going to be great. The only question is, will they sign Snead, which is their free agent? cornerback. So if they can get another corner, if they can sign him, I think they have an opportunity to three-peat.
Good point. Andrew?
Yeah, I mean, until you see someone else dethrone them in the AFC, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they're right back, in the Super Bowl. And as was just mentioned, regards to Snead, the other person that gonna need to key in on is Chris Jones. Not sure if he's going to. He's going to be commanding a lot of money, I'm sure, and it is well deserved.
Well,
So that's going to be a big one in terms of how the Chiefs go forward in regards to their defense, because to me he's the glue there. That front line, just him on the front line wreaks a lot of havoc, and we saw it time and time again. And I think the Chiefs will improve on offense. Maybe get another receiver. They still need a number one wideout. Rice looks like the guy to emerge. Maybe he'll be that number one guy. He definitely has the skills for it, and we saw how well he emerged in his through the season. And of course, 15 is still 15. Again, AFC will be tough, but until he goes down, it's very possible that he can find himself right back, in this situation. It'll be very interesting.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting. Good point. Big Jit.
I would have to say, unfortunately, yes, it's a possibility, but I feel like it's a reason why it hasn't been in history, as you stated before. I mean, to three-peat, I mean, that would be unprecedented. And shoot, with the skill set and just, the combination of a overall team that they displayed this year, they possibly could do it. But we got to take into account, along with a lot of people being out, it's just going to be another year of another film. You got Joe Burrow coming back. You got Justin Herbert getting, not saying they can compete for a Super Bowl or knock them out, but you just got more competition. Deshaun coming back, a second year of CJ Stroud. It's going to get tougher. So it's possible, but I think it's unlikely.
Smooth, who you got? What you got, man?
Not a three-peat. No, ain't not gonna.
You're not salty from the Super Bowl, right?
Maybe.
Just a little bit, right?
I understand, man.
Anything is possible. So yeah, they probably can, but I don't think that they're gonna do it. It's this NFL offseason is probably like my favorite time of the year.
Yeah.
Like when all these teams are like, revamping and signing players, and you got to see who goes where and which coach gets signed, who gets drafted. It's a lot of things. So, of course, going into it, you always give the champ a chance, because they were able to make it. They're able to win in those close games. They're able to make it to the playoffs. So yeah, they're gonna have a chance to do it. But the chips are always gonna be stacked against them, man. And all these teams are gonna come back, improve. This is like the first year in a long time where there's like 7 to 8 starting quarterbacks that got knocked out for the whole season and early too. So we got teams coming back finally with their starting quarterbacks. You got the Jets coming back. You got the Colts coming back with their starter. You got Joe Burrow coming back. Herbert has a new coach, and the Raiders are looking pretty good towards the end. The Broncos, who knows what they're gonna do, and that's all in the Chiefs division. So it's gonna be tough. Playing 7 games against your or 6 games or however many against your division rivals. So that's going to be tough. And then just the AFC in general, and who knows who's going to come out or how the Niners are going to come out of the NFC. So it's going to be tough. So they like it was mentioned before, they have a possibility, but I don't think it's going to happen, man. And if they do make it to the Super Bowl, that team that comes out of the NFC, man, with them red jerseys, man, we gonna get another chance at them and slap them around this time.
How many chances do y'all need?
Right?
We need another one. We need another one. Give me one more chance.
I hear you. I hear you. I hear you.
All right, Steve. Can they three-peat?
If the Mafia doesn't give them any more side money, yeah, they can.
Okay.
For real.
John Harbaugh and Sean McDermott in particular. But really, though, I'd say it's possible. You know, like you say, you give the champs a chance. But I mean, it's just it's just so much competition. The AFC is so stacked. I'd say again, Buffalo would have a chance to dethrone them if they run the ball, get another actual playmaker and use them. Don't be stupid. Baltimore, same thing. Run the ball. They can beat them. That's been proven.
Right.
But again, it's the coaching factor. So them two teams is one thing. Then of course, Indy's got guys coming back. Deshaun Watson, Trevor Lawrence, a couple guys. The one team that is a threat is the Bengals. You know, Joseph,
Took my point.
Burrow.
Yep.
Realize everyone I hear talking all this mess on the sports shows, Mahomes, Jordan, all these, this, all that. Yeah, but these guys are just as good as he is, skilled. You realize Burrow's been in the league 4 years. Injury, I think, 2 and 1.
Mm-hmm.
He's 3-1 against Mahomes. 3-1. And 1-1 against the AFC Championship game. Actually should be 2-0, but we ain't going to talk about all them holding calls that they don't call about KC. So if you think about it, the Bengals are their rivals, so to speak. And is there anything is their biggest threat. So I think if anyone's gonna dethrone them, it would be the Bengals, given if they do retain T. Higgins and they do hold Burrow upright and get an offensive line, they have a real chance. And remember, he's the only quarterback that scares Mahomes. Mahomes said it actually in an interview. Burrow is a stone cold killer. He didn't mention Jackson, he didn't mention Allen, he didn't mention all these other guys. He talked about Burrow. And so I think they are the real threat outside of Buffalo and Baltimore. And if they can get right and really coach and actually play how they're supposed to play, ain't no three-peat happening. The only way that happens if there's someone's getting paid from the side, and just again acting a fool and not coaching, then they're going to three-peat, the narrative thing, But I don't see them three-peating. I think they might be like the Spurs, get 2, go a few years, not win, and win another one. I think it might be a drought for them, but we'll see. It's wide open. It really is. There's so much talent in the AFC.
Yeah. Yeah, Steve, you took my point, bro. I was just going to say the Cincinnati Bengals is a threat as far as three-peating. They can three-peat if they, of course, upgrade their wide receiver position. And I don't think they can resign Snead and the defensive tackle. I forgot his name.
Chris Jones.
No, I don't think they're going to get both. So it's going to probably be one or the other. But as Steve brought out, Joe Burrow, man, I feel like just like we see the Brady and the Mannings, that competition, that's Patrick Mahomes and Joe Burrow to me. Like you said, Joe Burrow, he's the first one going Arrowhead, and beat him.
Mm-hmm.
And he ain't scared at all.
Mm-hmm.
Now, they do have to re-sign T. Higgins, and that's a very, very important person they need to bring back. If they don't bring him back, I don't know, unless they just trade for somebody out the blue. But T. Higgins is a very important part if he stay healthy. But they have a good team as well that can dethrone Pat, in my opinion. But as far as three-peating, if they upgrade that wide receiver position, and remember, Patrick Mahomes stats-wise this year, this was probably his worst year. So what can he do on a good year that we have seen over the years? We have seen from time to time. So this wasn't a good year from him and still made it to the Super Bowl with average receivers. Rice stepped up in the middle of the season. And as y'all brought out, and I think Andrew brought out, he can be a new number 1 or a number 2. I feel like he can be a good number 2 option for them. I still think they can bring in another one, like a T. Higgins. That would be a good fit for them. But if they can upgrade the wide receiver position, and of course, if they can bring back maybe L'Jarius Sneed to really fortify that secondary position, them boys can do it. I really do feel that way. But Joe Burrow, though, I mean, if I had to say one team that can stop him right now, it is Joe Burrow. So, any other comments, fellas?
They just have to protect Joe Burrow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
but I think they improved
They
that
did
since
that
they
without-
went to the Super Bowl.
They made it there without him getting protected. So
Yeah,
But that's the reason why he getting hurt though, is he's not getting protected.
I agree.
Right.
yeah. Now this injury, that was some fluke junk. I mean, he
Yeah.
he
that
got
was
injured. Yeah,
Yeah.
that calf. That
Yeah.
was, unfortunate. But I do think that from the prior when they Super Bowl, they did upgrade their offensive line.
Mm-hmm.
But we just gonna see at a whole year what they can do. But who else had a point? Smooth, I saw your hand.
Yeah, I got a point. I'm really starting to take serious like this whole NFL taking mafia money and stuff like that. I think there's a strong chance. That it's real, because my wife was telling me the whole time, my wife is a Niner fan. She rides or dies with the Niners, but she was like, you know what? It's no way that the Niners are gonna win this game. The NFL stands to make so much more money with Taylor Swift and the Chiefs. And I'm like, come on, man, they're gonna play the game. Of course. They're gonna let the guys on the field decide the game. But then when I saw all them refs turning a blind eye to all that holding that the Chiefs offensive line was doing, I'm like, this is ridiculous. So what's got to happen is Nick Bosa has got to start dating Katy Perry or something. We got to bring the NFL some money or something, man. We need to bring them some money so that they're like, all right, well, let's let Shanahan in. Y'all suffered enough. So we got to do something. This is ridiculous. Like the holding, when Nick Bosa said it in the press conference, a lot of people was like, nah, he's just being sour. But year after year, it's kind of like, what is this? What's going on here? Y'all see everything else. How are you missing this?
Yeah.
So I don't know. If the Chiefs got the refs on that side, yeah, they they can three-peat.
Oh man, yeah. Any other points, y'all, before we get to the next topic?
Hard to top that one.
Yeah, it's hard to talk.
He ain't wrong.
Oh man.
Oh man.
All right, fellas. So move on to the next one. This is gonna be a juicy one here.
You should have put that one
Oh.
last, man.
Yeah, I know it, but the last one, that's gonna be
Short one, yeah.
I want to get into the nit and gritty. This right here, ooh wee. So Patrick Mahomes, y'all, the man done won 3 Super Bowls, been to 6 or 7 AFC championships. He's 28 years old. Where do you guys have him ranked on your all-time list? Let's see who we start with on this one. Because I already know what Big J gonna say. Smooth. We can head you on the further. Andrew, we'll start with you. Where you got him ranked on your all-time list?
Got him 1.
Ooh.
Yeah, start the controversy here. Just in terms of everything, I'm counting everything. Let's not just get into the numbers of rings argument, because that's not going to work. Let's not just use the rings as an argument. Everything. Talent. Talent. You hear my wife in the background, right?
What's the Pats fan?
She said, lies I tell. She's a Pats fan.
Yeah.
So, yeah, just everything that I've seen. I thought Rodgers was the most talented quarterback I've ever seen, just in terms of throwing the ball, running the ball, just everything, until I saw Mahomes and just what he's done. Like I said, I even looked up just curious for the NFL.com, just trying to see what quarterbacks they had in the top. Of course, Brady, Montana, Peyton Manning, Unitas, Graham, Breeze, Marino, Staubach, Elway, Rodgers. And I'm like, okay, well, where does Mahomes belong now that he's got 3? I'd have to put him up there. And he's not even finished. This is only year 6. I think he can even get 1 or 2 more to have 5. Which even make the argument even stronger. But yeah, I got him right up there at the top. Just with everything. Talent, Everything.
Hey, hey.
Bryson, calm down, Bryson. Calm down, Bryson.
Nah,
Big J, go ahead, dog. Go ahead, dog. Go ahead, Big J.
finally, I just hey man, this is how I feel about this situation. If the question was stated as is Patrick Mahomes' trajectory GOAT, I would have no problem with that. But to say he is GOAT right now or to rank him as number one right now is outrageous to me. The reason why I feel like, not just feel like, you go look at what previously transpired with Tom Brady. He has gave him the recipe. He has set the foundation. Let's start from the beginning. You know, beautiful. Pat has went back to back. Who did that first? Who's the only other quarterback to do that? Tom. Beautiful. Pat has won with a mediocre wide receiving core, good coach, great tight end, great defense. Who did that for the entirety of their career? Brady. Good that what's it called? Pat came back from a 10-point lead. Brady in overtime. Brady did a 25-point lead without his X factor, with a running back leading as his wide receiver in overtime. So everything that what we've seen from Pat, it has been done before. So the fact of you're going to name him GOAT, and we don't even know what the future holds. Again, if he was to do something like a three-peat, maybe that would change my mind. But the fact that you gotta account for this man's whole career and we don't know what lies next when we have sitting here in front of us what Brady did in his latter years, the fact that he beat Pat in a head-to-head matchup in a Super Bowl and an AFC championship at 43. Come on now.
Can I ask you a quick question though?
Holding.
Can I just ask you quick, real quick?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, offside though.
Yes. Those first 2 or 3 Super Bowls that New England won, how did they win those?
Who won Super Bowl MVP?
Come on, we already had this discussion. You know they're gonna give it to the quarterback. Come on,
that's
they're not gonna give it to the quarterback.
What's it called?
Bro, you can't
The
do that.
beautiful
Answer the
thing about
question.
it, the beautiful thing about it, Andrew, is that we live to see Pat without the patch. Tom without the patch. If Bill was able to produce and do the same thing with the Patriots once he left, then I would have, gave more to that argument. But once Tom Brady left, we see Bill can't even get a job now. So Tom was the system. Bill added to that, but Tom was the system. So it's not just no coincidence. To make it to 10 Super Bowls, that's not just luck. That's not just, rolling the dice. This man was methodical, and you got to, give him his props. So, I think it's a little bit of the recency bias because he's fresh, it's new, but we can't forget what happened actually not too long ago.
Mm.
Steve, I want to hear you, bro, on this one.
Okay. Well, if it's about rings, then yeah, he's there, number 3, if you're going to talk about rings. But we ain't talking about rings. We talking about overall. Overall, I ain't a quarterback, connoisseur. I don't know all these cats' names, but he's in, let's be fair, top 15. We can start there, top 15. We ain't gonna all this recency bias and all this microwaving on Patty Melts and all that, this Jordan status and the GOAT status. It's crazy. All this whole narrative thing. People just need to slow down, let the career play out. Let's be honest. If you're gonna rank him, then you do it by era. And if you want to say he's GOAT or the best, then he might be the best in his era at this point right now. But then on all time, I don't think so. When you think about the NFL now, it's slanted towards the offense. And I keep thinking about all what the old school players keep talking about. You can't play defense. You can't do this. You can't do that. Everything is slanted. So if everything is tailored to the offense and defensive, you can't do nothing to him. This guy never gets touched, never gets hit, at all. And if he does, he's whining and crying and his whistle's flying everywhere. We see quarterbacks these days fold under the defensive pressure they get now. Could you imagine if LT played, Reggie White, all those guys? It's a huge difference. 70s, 80s, 90s. Also the running back feature. You can't flick and throw the ball everywhere. So I'd say era-wise, it's very difficult because it's just so many different styles. If you want to include Brady, you can throw him in there too. That's cool. But style wise, it's very hard to call him the GOAT because just like when we talk about Jordan, everyone says the GOAT, but even he says you didn't play against other people, so it's very difficult with errors. But as far as talent, Drew, now I'm hearing everyone talk about, I've never seen nothing quite like it. He's the best talented. Now, dude, weren't we saying that about Aaron Rodgers a couple of years ago? How talented he was. And when you look at Mahomes, Rodgers was doing the same thing Mahomes has been doing. To me, there ain't no difference. Just that's a recency bias. Aaron Rodgers was the same thing. He's a bad man. He's so dangerous. Don't give him the ball. He doesn't have the championships, but he has a talent and skills. Just about he can run, he can throw. Same thing. Let's not forget Eli Manning, Peyton Manning. Peyton, if not, he's got to be top 5. He don't have the rings, but cerebral and playing the quarterback position, I think you could take him probably just as much as you could Mahomes. Mahomes might be a bit more clutch, but talking about talent and skill, I mean, Peyton was it when you watched him. I mean,
I don't know about that.
I don't know about
I
that
don't know
one.
about
You can't say that.
Sorry,
You
no.
mentioned
I
Eli
don't
too.
know.
You cannot mention Eli either, man. You can't.
Nope.
I'm just saying, look at
Peyton,
Peyton.
no.
I'm saying how skilled he was, though, and how
Yeah.
as well. Not saying that him his championships and all that, but to get online and he was really a scientist. There's play calling and all those different things. I'm just saying from that standpoint that he was good. He didn't have the
Yeah,
playoffs.
he struggled mightily in the postseason, though, right?
Yeah.
Right. That's what I'm saying. But we're saying when everything combined, the fact that just the talent, though, the talent, physical, he can't run, throwing wise, but this here, that equal the physical gifts just as much. He just didn't have the success, but he was good too. So I think Mahomes is top 3 in rings, but top 15 just considering skills and talent overall.
That's crazy.
Smooth.
Yeah, I'm not a victim of like the recency bias and all that stuff, but I do have to give Mahomes his respect because winning 3 Super Bowls is not an easy feat, and I'm not gonna say he's the GOAT because that's Tom Brady's the GOAT, hands down. When you're able to go in the Super Bowl and win that game, that's probably like the toughest game to win all year. You're playing against an elite defense. Both teams got elite defenses. Both teams, have so much, on their side. When you're able to like break that whole thing down and score enough points to win the game, that's why people elevate your name after you win Super Bowls. If you're a talented quarterback and you're able to get the ring, your name gets a little further up on that list. So I would say that Mahomes is definitely top 10. I might put him at like number 6, like knocking on the top 5 door, because I can't just of course I'm not going to disrespect Tom Brady, but Joe Montana, all these guys that played in the league when defense was allowed, and when like all these calls that are defending the quarterback weren't in play, but these quarterbacks like Favre and Aikman and Steve Young, all these guys, Bradshaw, Terry Bradshaw, Dan Marino, all these guys were able to play in a league where you were looking at LT on the other side of the ball, or Bruce Smith, or all these legends, Ronnie Lott on the other side of the ball coming to knock your head off, and the refs allowed it, and they able to get passes down the field. Very talented, very 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 great. You got Aaron Rodgers too. He's very talented as well, but I'm not going to say that just because he won this next ring that he's definitely the GOAT, but he's approaching. If he continues to win, you can't deny it. 3 rings is a monumental. It's a monumental. I can't think of the word, man. But it's great, man. You can't take that away from him, man. So he's not the GOAT, but if he continues on this trajectory, I don't see why he wouldn't be.
Yeah. Well, Patrick Mahomes on my list right now, he's number 2 all time. And the reason why I don't have him number 1 yet is because I want him to do the unthinkable. I want him to three-peat. I want him to go ahead and do this three-peat so that everybody can just shut up. Because if he does this, ain't never been done in history. Nobody thought this can never be done. And if he does that, he will be the greatest quarterback of all time, in my opinion. Now, before Brady, of course, number one on my list. Number two was Montana. Now, the reason why I put him over Montana is because I looked up the stats the other day, and I'm just going to read them to y'all real quick. Now, Montana has 4 championships, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. 8 Pro Bowls. He's been to 5 All-Pro teams. 2 MVPs. Okay. 3 Super Bowl MVP. All right. Now, if you go to Patrick Mahomes has 3 Super Bowls. He's a 6-time Pro Bowler, and we all know he's gonna get more than 8. 3 All-Pros to Joe Montana's 5. 3-time Super Bowl MVP. So he's tied right now with Montana. Okay. Now, Mahomes is going to win, to me, another Super Bowl. Even if he don't win it next year, he's going to win one in the next, to me, another 2-3 years in that time frame. He's not going to wait a whole nother decade like Brady did to win his ring. Because y'all do remember, Brady did wait a decade before he won, his 3rd or 4th Super Bowl?
His 4th.
Oh, that was a long time slot.
What'd you say? His
Okay.
what?
He waited.
That was a time slot for 10 years. That was a decade. Now, I don't see Patrick Mahomes going a decade without winning the Super Bowl. Okay? I don't see that at all. Now, even though he may not win the Super Bowl next year, if he do, that'll be, like I said, at the top of the top. Okay? But even if he does get there and he loses, but he got there, the man is taking over the lead by far as dominance, okay? And we ain't never, to me, and I haven't, man, we can say Brady, but to me, as far as the time frame, year in, year out, the man has been at so many AFC championship games, all right? He done been to 4 Super Bowls, okay? So it's like, if he goes out there, man, and does this on a year-to-year basis, at least going to the AFC championship games and doing this, this is very unbelievable. And he's not even 30 years old yet. Okay. Now, David, I'm gonna get to you right now. I just had to get that out there because I've been it was on the tip of my tongue. I ain't forgot about you, bro. So go ahead, David. Tell us where you got Patty Milk ranked, bro.
I got him ranked number 1.
Ooh, so you up there with Drew?
Right there with Drew.
Okay.
Right there, Drew.
Tell us why
Somebody with me here.
tell us why you feel that way.
Look, man, this is the fastest start by any quarterback in NFL history.
Sheesh.
In NFL history. Let's talk about it. He's been in 6 straight AFC championship games. Who else has done that? Nobody. Nobody. This man, first year starting, threw for 5,000 yards and 50 touchdowns.
Speak
Who
on
has
it.
done that? Nobody else.
Nobody.
This man has knocked out Joe Burrow, Josh Allen. Those are the top in the top 5 quarterback rankings. Multiple times. He's broken Josh Allen's heart twice. He's broken, I'm sorry, Chris, the 49ers twice.
Twice.
Come on now. This man
Jalen Hurts.
10-point lead in 3 straight Super Bowls. This man is the reason why they win in their Super Bowls.
Thank you. All of them.
All of them.
All of them.
All
That's a
of
good
them.
point.
1,
And
2,
Tom-
and 3.
In Tom Brady's career, first 3 Super Bowls, he wasn't the reason why they was winning them. I don't care
Thank
if he
you.
win the EVP or not. He is not the sole reason why they winning them.
Thank you.
And if you really look at it, Tom Brady defense had to bail him out a couple of times. And he didn't play particularly great in some of them. So you can say he got, 6, he got 7 rings. 7 rings. If you say about almost half of them, you can credit it to the defense.
Yeah. That's a good point.
Can I add something there too?
Go ahead. Yeah.
Go ahead, Andrew.
let's go back to that game against the Oakland Raiders. And now you know you talk about the whistles, right? That's a fumble. I'm sorry. You think about it, that's a fumble. That game is over. The Raiders win that game. There is no Super Bowl for Brady that year. That is a fumble.
And you know what's crazy? They
And
created that rule in the middle
can
of the
anybody
game.
explain the tuck rule right now? Somebody explain it?
No, you can't explain it. You know why you can't?
Can you explain it?
You know why
First
you
glance,
can't?
that's a fumble.
I got some points when y'all done. I'm sorry.
You know why you can't explain it, Drew?
No.
Because it was created in the middle of the game. That rule wasn't even in there when the game played. When they played the game.
I mean,
Even
you talk
Tom
about
Brady,
benefiting from a whistle. I mean, my goodness.
even Tom Brady said it was a fumble.
Bingo.
Even Tom Brady said that.
And that was going to be a loss. Because the Raiders would have had the ball, the game was over.
But we all say, I know Brady, he beat Mahomes twice, but what if that wasn't the offsides though? Right? In that championship game. But what if Patrick Mahomes did have a decent offensive line in that Super Bowl?
And they wide receivers decided to catch the ball. You forgot about that part.
Yeah.
But
go ahead, Big J. I know you had some points. Go ahead.
All right. Starting off, David, what you first started your first sentence with, and probably was like your third word. You said start. That's the key word. We don't know what the future holds. If he was to start right now, that's the whole point of it saying it not being a comparison right now, but a trajectory thing. If he was to end right now, it wouldn't be a question. But trajectory-wise, if we look forward in the future and say he can continue to progress and do what he has done in the future, then I would see that. But we don't know, honestly. None of us are mind readers. None of us are future fortune tellers or anything like that. So I'm not going to just say, what can happen. And then weren't we just talking about the egregious calls that happened in the Super Bowl? So it's not like, oh, Brady got some plays to benefit him and Pat hasn't. I'll take that call, whatever the case may be, but they play to the favorites or whatever the case you want to be. It's on both sides. Last but not least, Cody. Now we kind of switching sports a little bit, but it's all gonna pertain. Why would you say now that Braun would be in the GOAT conversation? Would it not be because?
Oh no, did we lose him?
No, see, that's what happens when you don't have your points. That's what happens. He tried to talk about my boy Braun.
No, come on, Big J, get back on, man. I need to hear that.
Okay, I know what you're gonna probably say about LeBron.
Before we get back, I will walk real quick. You're talking about he's the reason why. We think about it, he ain't the reason why. Kyle Shanahan's the reason why he got 2 out of 3 Super Bowls. He did nothing, and he did nothing in the beginning in both games. So in the end, this dude's the savior, the GOAT. Where was he? And thus Kyle Shanahan stops running the ball. He getting paid off or whatever. Mahomes did nothing in the beginning, really.
Let me ask you this.
I'm just saying,
let me ask you quick.
I'm just saying, and if we talk about Jordan, right? Okay, when Jordan beat these teams, they all play at their peak, and mind you, these coaches, they ain't over here talking about, oh yeah, well, don't shoot the ball, don't do this. They all going for Jordan, going for broke, and still lost. We talking about Kyle Shanahan over here taking the foot off the gas and just kind of like, and then all of a sudden they come back out of nowhere.
Okay.
Are you surprised?
Let me ask you this, Steve. How many of those happened to Tom Brady?
What?
That they let Tom Brady win? How many of those happened? How many times did that happen?
Shanahan took his foot off the gas.
Pete Carroll, come on, go there.
Pete Carroll.
Yeah, it's 2.
Get 2. Okay, so if let's say 2, that's now what? 5 Super Bowls?
Hey,
that's tied.
Did y'all mention my team, right?
Come on,
that's the same thing.
What if we ran the ball, right? What if we run the ball, right?
That's the same thing. We can mention this all day. We go.
But no, go ahead.
You can say that about every team, man.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm saying, and then on top of that, the points of what y'all making is I don't know, but I feel like it's biased. I don't know I know for the longest, y'all didn't, care for Brady and stuff like that. But to even be in the position that he's in to even argue him, or not even argue, to say he was a 6th-round, 199 pick. He wasn't even supposed to be, what he was. So to get to that caliber and get to all the accolades he did is ridiculous. Patrick Mahomes was a first round,
Come
10th
on, bro.
overall pick.
Let's not do that. Let's not do
But
that.
okay,
Let's not do that.
that was just adding to
No, let's not do that,
Hey.
Bryce.
All right. Hold on,
Patrick Mahomes was
man.
not highly
I'm
rated
telling you.
as a draft.
Exactly.
It is
Nobody knew about him.
Nobody knew about
Nobody knew about
Mahomes.
him.
It
if
is
he went
so-
10th overall, you
Bro,
had to know about him.
No. They remember they traded to
Hold
get
on,
him.
real
quick. Hold on. There's so many sports shows, and I can go back. I ain't got time, but I can show y'all this off the show. It is so many sports shows that I watched. And Undisputed, Shannon Sharp said that Patrick Mahomes, pretty much coming out of college, that he didn't believe in Patrick Mahomes.
Okay.
And so many other analysts that I have seen coming out of college. Oh, like the Bears, they it was the same draft class with Mitchell Trubisky,
Yep.
Yeah.
right?
Okay, who was a greater in the conversation? Who was a greater prospect? Patrick, Brady, coming out the draft. It's still gonna be Pat regardless.
They drafted Patrick because of talent, not
It
because
don't matter, but he was still a greater prospect coming out the draft. But that's not even what I'm alluding to. Before I got kicked off because the internet was there, the internet was like, "Boy, you spend too much juice." The reason why you put Bron in the GOAT conversation, of course, rings aside, is because his accolades, right? Of what he's still doing at the age of what he's doing it at. If we go through and just put Super Bowls aside, Tom Brady has the most career rings. Tom Brady has the most career passing attempts. Tom Brady has the most passing touchdowns. Tom Brady has the most passing completions, passing yards, most completions in the season. Every statistical stat worth mentioning, Tom Brady owns. So again, the fact of longevity has to come into this conversation. And I can't speak on somebody that is not finished yet. And that's just what it is, in my opinion.
Okay, that's true, but it's crazy that we're even having this debate and he's only in year 6.
Thank you.
Only in year 6, and we're already talking about him as a GOAT.
Somebody
That's
say
crazy.
something,
This man
right?
been dominating since he started. This is his 7th year.
Because you got a lot of old heads saying that he the GOAT right now.
Who?
I'm talking about like as far as on TV. All right, I don't know if y'all watch First Take like that, but it's a guy that be on Wednesday, Mad Dog Russo.
Mhm.
No, you don't have to like him, but the man he done lived in so many years. That man is an old guy, and that man said Patrick Mahomes is the GOAT. He done seen the Montanas, everybody.
Mad Dog crazy, man.
So,
Cody,
yeah, he crazy.
Well, that's the name.
But it just shows you though, like these folks way before our time have seen quarterbacks.
Y'all keep mentioning
from
era.
years and years, and they saying right now, like Patrick Mahomes is the greatest quarterback they have ever seen. I mean, it's the dominance, man. That's why
That's my word, dominance. Yep.
Dominance. That's why you say LeBron James. It's the dominance, bro. Yeah, you ain't gotta have 6, but the man has been dominant. That's why he's in that conversation, and that's why I like Patrick Mahomes. The man is dominant, bro. I don't think he's gonna wait another 10 years like Brady to win his 4th ring. I just don't think so. That's not gonna happen. I just don't see that. I just don't. I'm
Cody,
sorry.
even if you do, you think he's gonna end up with 7?
He doesn't need to be considered a GOAT.
He don't have to.
He doesn't need to.
7, bro.
Though, bro.
Okay, all
He
right. Hey,
to me, he don't. He ain't got to.
Go
To
ahead.
be the GOAT, he doesn't have to have 7.
No.
Hey, hey,
Nah.
Patrick Mahomes is on a great run right now, but there's also a lot of factors that don't involve Patrick Mahomes that are allowing him to be great as well, just like all the other great quarterbacks. So, like, once Andy Reid retires, what will Patrick Mahomes do? Once that defense is not there anymore, or as strong as it is anymore, what will Patrick Mahomes do? Like, it's so many.
We saw it 2 previous times.
Best defense he's had.
Yeah, we already saw that. So you can't answer that. We already saw it.
Drew. You saw
I can say
saw
it because once Kelsey's gone, what's Patrick Mahomes going to do? So yeah, he's had a great 6 years, and we can't take that away from him. But for me to say that he's the GOAT right now, after only 6 years, it's like longevity, like Tom Brady's like whole like span of work is worth calling him the GOAT. He's played so many years. He's got the Super Bowl so many times. Like, you can't just dismiss that because Mahomes is on a great run right now. You know, it's a great 6 years, but what about year 7? What about year 8? What about year 9? You know, he can go down those next 2 years. Will we still be having the same sentiments? If he doesn't make the Super Bowl next year or the next 3 years, will you still be saying that Mahomes is the GOAT?
But we can only judge by the years he's played. So
yeah,
exactly. That's what we got to go on.
So if you
He was a dog fan, y'all.
Right.
Dog fan, y'all crazy, man.
He's saying Tom. He definitely saying Tom, bro.
if he was to shut his career down right now, would you say he's the GOAT right now?
yeah,
That's
I
crazy.
just said it.
Hey, David, question. Andrew,
What's up?
question for y'all, both of y'all.
Go ahead.
If Pat would have beat Tom in that Super Bowl, would that have furthered or held back the conversation of him being GOAT?
If he would have beat Tom,
Yeah.
like, I don't judge quarterbacks off of beating somebody. I judge them off of performance.
Okay.
Like I said,
Yeah,
if
as
he
a question.
performed better than Tom,
Oh.
It would help the argument. It would help it even
Exactly.
more. It
But-
put him at 4.
My thing-
but the simple fact of the matter is this: I think Patrick Mahomes played pretty well that game. It's just the fact that
Hey, Tom Brady played amazing that game. He
he played amazing.
Yeah.
Yes, he
He
was.
did not
Yes,
play
he did.
amazing.
I think he missed
No, he
9
didn't.
passes.
He did not
But,
play amazing.
hey,
Come
in
on,
the
bro.
same way,
You can't
the
say
whole
that,
reason
bro.
why I
You
brought
can't
that
say he
point up.
played amazing.
Hey, what game you talking about? He played
You
amazing.
talking about that
Having-
Tampa
He's
Bay
talking about the
game?
Super Bowl against
Tampa Bay versus
Kansas
Chiefs.
City.
Yes,
He
he
was
said he
in
played
Tampa Bay.
amazing. He
Hey,
did not play amazing.
In the same way that you gonna say something would help somebody else's career, you can't switch. You can't move the
Mhm.
bases.
How
If
am
you gonna say, if you gonna call a spade and say, oh yes, if you would have beat Tom, that would have furthered him in the
I
GOAT
didn't say
conversation.
that though.
Okay,
Did I say that?
okay, Drew.
I said it. No, I said
I
it.
think anybody would send, or and I don't even want to say that, but anybody would just like looking at the situation. If we're talking about GOAT, you beat the person of you arguing GOAT as
But
in the
this is a
Super Bowl.
team game,
That would
bro.
have made a difference. So
This
my
is a
thing is,
team
in the same
game.
way if he would have did it, it would have helped the situation. Him not doing it against the person you arguing as GOAT hurts the situation.
Look,
Especially
this
at
is
the
why.
age
This
of.
is. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I don't think anything hurts
Yeah,
the situation now, though.
Okay, so this is what I say. Did Eli Manning beat Tom Brady twice?
Of course. Yeah.
Did Nick Foles beat him too?
Yeah.
So what are we talking about?
What do you mean? What are we talking about? Hey, why did Lamar get in the conversation to MVP? When did it happen? Did it happen based off the season or after they beat the 49ers, the other MVP candidates in CMC and Purdy? When did he enter the MVP conversation?
After he beat the 49ers.
My point exactly.
But that doesn't mean that it was right for him to enter into it. In my opinion, it should go to CMC. We had this discussion earlier. It should have went to CMC.
But a lot of people,
in my opinion,
But you know it's going to go to the quarterback.
I know it's going to go to the quarterback, but I'm just saying.
So of course, that's It's gonna
but
always
my
go
thing
to
is,
quarterback.
bro, when you playing, especially when it's of that magnitude, and you playing, and it's something of value like that, it holds a little bit more weight. It's not just.
I don't think
it's not just simply a game.
I don't think it holds weight because Patrick Mahomes did everything he could, but his team sold him on that game. The offensive line was not great. He had third string offensive line playing and second string, and his wide receivers were not catching the football. This man was parallel to the ground, throwing the football accurately, and they dropped the ball. What more can you do?
The year Joe Burrow beat Pat, was his offensive line good?
His offensive line,
we can't do that, man.
We can't do what? What you mean?
I agree.
We can't move the bases. We can't do that.
I'm not moving the bases.
The goalpost is being moved.
I think we got Shannon Sharp here, fellas, on the corner right on our screen.
I'm not moving the goalpost.
You know, it's interesting. You guys keep mentioning Joe Burrow. You guys keep mentioning Burrow. When he beat Mahomes, what happened after that?
He lost, yeah.
Because this is what we're talking about too. In terms of that dominance, even though except that year, when you beat Mahomes, you need to take advantage of that. So that's a fail on his part too. When you beat greatness, if you have when you have the opportunity to beat greatness, as Burrow did, and he is the one that I do believe that he's the only threat to Mahomes, as was mentioned earlier. When you beat greatness, you have to take advantage and win. Because we're seeing it now. And that's why I have Mahomes as number one, because of his sheer dominance. He is literally preventing quarterbacks from winning in the conference. And we got some really good names
And guess
in
what?
that conference.
All them quarterbacks that I was talking about earlier, all of them in their prime.
Yes.
So these ain't no rookies either.
And this is his worst offense he has
Right.
been.
Josh
And I can
Allen.
say this, and I can also say this. This is the worst offense that he's been in, and also any Brady's offense beats this offense any day.
Bro, what name one receiver that adds to equivalent of Rashee Rice that besides
Julian
Randy
Edelman.
Moss besides Randy Moss that Brady ever had?
I said Julian Edelman.
Don't stop it.
Bro.
Stop it. This man was a quarterback out of
And he won
Kansas.
MVP. Did he not? Did he not win Super Bowl MVP?
No.
Oh, okay.
Did Tom Brady not
okay.
catapult every wide receiver? Was Danny
okay.
Amendola from the Rams a dog before he got there? No.
He was pretty good, but he wasn't a dog.
Stop it. Stop it. He didn't have a 1,000-yard
He
season.
just get hurt. Amendola just got hurt every year.
Marquez Valdez-Scantling.
Thank you.
Oh,
Did y'all see that one play? Did y'all see that one play?
okay. Rashee Rice just came on at the end of the year.
He's a rookie.
You know, I'm trying to think.
Bro, it was the same recipe.
Do I need to mention Kadarius Toney?
Julian Edelman is better than all them receivers, bro. I don't care what you say.
Tripping.
Julian Edelman. So you saying Julian Edelman is not better than all them receivers?
I'm not taking
right
Yes.
now.
Yes, he is.
I'm not taking him over two body.
Tom Brady has thrown to the same amount of Hall of Famers in his career than Mahomes has.
Say it again.
You have Gronk and
Kelsey.
Gronk and Randy Moss. They're both Hall of Famers, but Moss was already
Tyreek
Hall of
Hill.
Famer before
All
that.
right, Gronk, Kelsey. All right, Gronk, Randy Moss, Tyreek Hill, Kelsey.
And Tyreek Hill, Kelsey. It's the same.
All right, then. So what we?
It's the same.
That's my point. Y'all
Tyreek Hill left.
And Tyreek Hill left. And then what happened? What happened after he left?
Won one when he left.
Huh? You said what?
He won two.
After Tyreek Hill left.
Two when he left. Yep.
Okay. As I mentioned before, did not Brady win a Super Bowl without Gronk playing and having a running back lead as his wide receiver? Down 25? Come on, man. I can't do it, bro. I can't do it. I can't.
Well, that's Shanahan too. Didn't we talk about that earlier?
Yeah.
So,
that's Shanahan
I'm very
too.
curious though if they ran the ball, what would happen? Yeah.
I'm saying same thing then with San Fran.
Yeah.
If they ran the ball,
Yeah.
Mahomes don't have 2 trophies.
Right.
So like he said,
But when
cats
you
is
go-
moving goalposts. It's like, wait a minute. And whose quarterback he's stopping? I mean, Baltimore. I mean, did he really stop Baltimore? Did Baltimore coach stop themselves? I mean, really.
Let's be honest. Kansas City took the foot off the gas. Let's be
Lights
honest.
got on.
Kansas City took the foot off the
I
gas.
just know what happened. I know
It's
that.
the same thing with the Tom Brady and the Patriots. In the Patriots era, teams literally stopped doing what they did best for the Patriots.
Okay, so you can make the argument for both. The only thing I'm arguing
Them teams know who they're going against too, though.
I'm not denying what you're saying. It's just when you look at the longevity of it, if you've done it twice compared to another guy that done it 15, 16 times, that's a difference. You can't just wash away all what you've seen. He's literally the same formula. Great tight end, great coach, great defense, trash wide receiving core. It's the same thing we've been seeing with Tom Brady his whole entire career, except for 3 years. 2 years with Randy Moss and 1 year with the Bucks.
No. This is the best defense Patrick Mahomes had in his whole career.
Mm-hmm.
Brady, on the other hand, had a couple.
He had the top 10 defense every year.
I wish Mahomes would have had that defense with New
All
England.
the Fame players, Brewski, Rodney Harris.
Come on now.
What was the Chiefs right this year?
Cornerback they had, got his name.
Oh, that's 1 year.
Richard Seymour. These guys all
1 year?
Fame players. And, Patrick Mahomes ain't had none of that.
No, never.
Nope.
Yeah.
He's not. This is his first year having an elite defense.
Yes, that you can really say that. And still,
and that's scary.
In all them Super Bowls he won, bro, he carried. None of the defenses carried Mahomes like some of them did Brady. All right. Even though they had the best defense this year, for him to make that push to the playoffs, it was, the defense played a big part in that. But when it came to beating the Bills and the Ravens, like I was telling y'all, I told Bryson I didn't expect him to make it to the AFC Championship game. I actually thought it was going to be the Ravens and the Bills. I really thought that. we didn't see what Patrick Mahomes can do on the road. That was the biggest thing. He can't
first
do it.
half,
He
was
can't
looking
do it outside
spectacular.
Arrowhead. That was the biggest topic. What can he do outside Arrowhead? He has proven he can do it. And I mean, I don't know what else to say, y'all.
I mean,
what's Tom Brady's road record in the playoffs?
Teddy Bruschi and
Oh,
Seymour
time
got
for the
drafted.
most 7.
Road in the road.
Yes, look it up. Most wins. Him and Joe Flacco. I mean, I know. Come on now. Come on now.
I don't believe that.
Go look it up.
No,
Go look
No,
it up.
Flacco's up there. Flacco was up there with
He's
road
tied
road wins.
with
Yeah.
Joe Flacco for the most in 7.
What was the
Come
question?
on, bro. He owns
His road
everything of
win.
value when it comes to quarterback. You can't just. I understand he's the hot commodity right now, but you just can't just overlook what has happened before him.
We're not, but Brady's done now. So we got Mahomes to look at.
Hey.
Brady's done now.
A Jets fan
That's
bias.
Hey,
No. I mean, if you have Mahomes at number 2 to Brady, I'm not gonna argue that.
he's number 2
I'm
on
not
my
gonna.
list.
I can't argue that. Like,
And
I
I
can't.
want him to do something that has never been done before. Because you can't argue now.
It's over.
All this arguing we doing, you can't do it if he wins next year. I'm sorry.
No.
Unless you just a Patriots
It's
fan.
over. I'm sorry.
By the way, Brady wasn't the first quarterback to actually do back-to-back. By the way,
I thought
No, I wasn't saying. I said who's the last one to do it.
No, he
before.
wasn't the first.
you said the
Rashford did
first.
it.
You said
No,
the
I
first.
said first.
you
did.
I think you did say the first before.
I ain't said the first.
You did say the first
You
person.
did say first.
We gonna see. I don't think I said it first. I know he was the last one to do it before in 2004, 2005. So hey,
Well, he ain't three.
like I said, man, you know, y'all can live and
But if he
think
three-peats,
about that, but
It's over, man.
Oh, it's over with, bro. Like I said,
If he three,
it's
it's
over.
over.
If he three-piece, then
He can go ahead and retire.
Out suck.
he
He
can
go ahead and
retire.
retire. He three-peat. He gonna have no babies and do all that. Well,
He
he got
can retire at that point.
He could take 2 years off and go win another 3 if he wanted to. Well, you know, yeah. I'm sorry, but that we go all night with this. I'm telling you.
what's it called? Trajectory wise too, or just looking at. Do y'all think there's an equivalent to a? I mean, he been hurt. Is there equivalent like consistently to a Peyton Manning that Patrick Mahomes has to overcome?
No.
Exactly. So who had the tougher road to get to the Super Bowl?
What you mean?
You
Kansas
just said
City
no,
by
there's
far.
no equivalent to a
This
Peyton
year,
Manning.
this year, no.
Patriots team, Tom Brady's been on. What you talking about?
Say it again.
This year has beat any Tom Brady's road playoffs to the Super Bowl that Patrick Mahomes has been on this year.
So you talking about you talking about the run where he was 43, he went through the Redskins, the Packers, the Saints.
You really said the Redskins. You literally said the Redskins, bro.
It don't matter. Did you not just hear what I said? Aaron Rodgers and the Packers,
7-9.
Drew Brees and the Saints, and then the guy
And he wasn't the reason why they was winning either.
That's still. I don't think that's still the greatest run though.
Come on, bro.
He wasn't the reason why they was winning.
Hey, real quick.
You said Tom Brady wasn't the reason why they was winning?
Yeah. You want to look up the stats? You want to pull up the stats?
Hey,
Go pull up the stats of the Super Bowl.
real quick, y'all.
Now you want to go to the Super Bowl.
Hold
You
on.
want to pull up the stats of the other 2 games.
Hold on, David. Let me get into some of these comments real quick. They showing love in the comments. Want to shout them out. And Drew, this what your white Brady's the GOAT. Mahomes needs longevity. Come back to me when Mahomes played 20 years. And
She feels threatened
I know it.
by Mahomes. I know what that's about. She
When
feels
your favorite
threatened.
when your favorite player feel threatened, that's how they are.
Yeah, she feels a threat coming.
May said, "Nah, Patrick ain't the GOAT in my eyes. He's great, but nah. If he gets 3 in a row, then fails then will he still be the GOAT?" MJ won 3, right? But do y'all say he failed?
What do you mean?
Fails.
I'm just
What do
saying.
you mean?
I'm just
He
going
won
to
3,
basketball.
retired, and came back and won another 3.
Yeah,
He gets
but
3 in a row and
he
then
didn't
fails
do nothing
from
after
then.
that,
Will
though.
he still be the GOAT? He would have 4.
Yeah, I think so.
He would have 4 with a 3-peat that has never been done. If that were to happen,
Yeah, I still think
I don't
he'll
think
be the
that.
GOAT.
Yeah, will he still be the GOAT? Yeah, I think so.
Hey, Drew. Last little point, and then I'm done with this conversation. You say championships don't matter. If Michael Jordan doesn't have
No. I didn't say no. It doesn't matter. I said, but it's not the only thing.
Okay, but
It
it
helps,
is a big
but it's not the
factor,
only
though.
thing.
It is
It's a
big
major factor.
though.
Yeah, absolutely.
You take MJ down to 2 championships or 3 championships, and LeBron has the accolades he have. Are we having the conversation of Michael Jordan being GOAT? What propels him to be the GOAT? Not just what he did, but how he did it and having a clean final sweep, 6-0.
Well, since we
Well,
talking
Like I
about
said, it's not
football,
just rings, because if that was the case, then Bill Russell was the best hands down. Then there's nothing else to discuss. If we're just counting rings, right?
I'm not saying not just counting rings, but it's a big factor for sure.
Oh, yes, it is. No, absolutely. But dominance is also a part of it too.
oh, it's a very that's to me is the most important. It's the dominance.
Yeah,
And, this is,
dominate.
and I keep saying it, bro. That's what Patrick Mahomes doing right now. He's killing the league by far.
Keyword,
Ain't
right
nobody
now.
sniffing him. Ain't
It's not
nobody.
even close.
He's in
Shanahan's
a he's in
dominant.
a category on his own. All right,
He's not
Lamar
even
and all them, and they all in the group together. Until
Kyle
somebody
Shanahan
can
dominated.
dethrone
I
him.
will say New England did dominate, though. They did have a period where they dominated, and just, I mean, it helps when you play in the AFC East. I will say that too.
Who?
Okay,
Patriots?
stop it. We can't do that, man. See, every
I
time
know,
you
but
go,
I'm just saying. I mean, come on, that's easy.
what's it called? Who did Pat run through this year?
Is
In
there
the-
a
in-
Justin
in
Herbert?
his
Was there a
division.
Justin
He ran
Herbert in the
through,
AFC East during
Come
Brady's
on.
reign? Yes or no?
Say it again. Okay, we acting like it's a farce. You got the Raiders, the Broncos, and what's the
the
last one?
Chargers.
And the Chargers.
Brandon Staley and the Chargers. Another
Yep.
team with talent, another bozo coach. Oh yeah, Pat Mahomes ran through them. Easy cut.
I mean, we could go
Yeah,
back.
it was easy for Brady too in that AFC East.
go
I'm
back
just
and
I'm
saying.
just saying, like, we ain't gonna just
He was
say the
smart for
road.
leaving though, because he knew what was coming.
Yeah, bro. Like I said, y'all, just to sum this point up, I have him number 2. Drew got him number 1. David got him number 1. Smooth, what did you say you had him at? Is he top 5 to you?
He's top 5. He's not number 1 though.
Okay, he's top 5. And Steve, you say he's like totality top 15?
Somewhere in there, top
Somewhere in
15
there.
or top 10.
Okay, so everybody got their own opinion. You know what I'm saying? But I think we have to agree though that what we're seeing right now to me is the most dominant thing I've seen as far as quarterback wise. I'm sorry, y'all. If he does it again, bro, I'm telling you,
It's over.
that's it.
He
That's
plays
it.
Shanahan again.
That's it. That's it. You ain't take your feelings out. If you don't like them,
If you don't play perfect, you're gonna lose.
Exactly, bro. I don't care if you don't like Taylor Swift. I don't care about none of that. The man, if he does unthinkable, he wins again. The man will be the GOAT, bro. I'm sorry. That's it. But good points, y'all. I mean, this is why I wanted to get into it, because we got a whole bunch of people watching. I can see it on my end, so this is very entertaining. All right, let's get on to the next one, y'all. So let's talk about another GOAT. Travis Kelce. Another. It's Travis Swift. I mean Kelce. The GOAT. 3-time Super Bowl champ. We know his resume. But is he the GOAT to y'all? Smooth, let's start with you.
No, he's not even the greatest tight end on the Chiefs.
Tony G?
The GOAT tight end is Tony Gonzalez, man. And he was able to do some great stuff without a notable quarterback, man. My man has 15,000 yards. He's far and away right now, has the most yards out of any quarterback and probably close to the most touchdowns. But
You mean tight end? You said quarterback.
tight end, I'm sorry. Tight end. But Travis Kelce is fastly approaching, that air, because he's playing with Patrick Mahomes, and he's Patrick Mahomes' number 1 target. He already has Travis Kelce already has like 11,000 yards for his career. And that's like beating like Shannon Sharp and Jason Witten and Antonio Gates, and those guys are in the top 5 as well. So like or well, some of them used to be. But Travis Kelce is definitely in the top 5, and he's fastly approaching GOAT status, man. If he continues on this trajectory, but I can't take it away from Tony Gonzalez yet, man. He was just so dominant for all those years, man, and his numbers prove it. And then, I would put Kelce ahead of Shannon Sharp. I would put him ahead of Jason Witten. He's kind of like neck and neck to me with Antonio Gates. So I'd probably put him like maybe top 3. Top 3, but I don't know if I could put him ahead of Gates and
Where you got Gronk?
Gonzalez yet. Gronk. The
Take the rings away.
thing with Gronk is the rings and the touchdowns, man.
Mm-hmm.
I think Gronk might have the most touchdowns out of all tight ends all time. Or am I wrong? Or is he just
Gates
high up
one,
there?
Gonzalez 2.
Okay. Yeah, so Gronk, man,
Dominant.
I would put him ahead of
Kelce.
Of Gronk too, man. I'll put Kelce in the top 3. But not number 1. I can't me personally, I can't put him ahead of Gates, and I can't put him ahead of Gonzalez yet.
Gates is so underrated, bro.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know how many fantasy teams I had Gates on, man?
Man, what?
Put
Man,
up great numbers, man.
it just baffles me that he's not in the Hall of Fame yet.
That's ridiculous.
That doesn't
He's
make
not.
sense.
He's not.
No, he's not.
No,
That's
He's
ridiculous.
not, bro.
Mm-mm.
And I
Makes
don't know
no
why.
sense.
I don't know why. But
Is he just not eligible yet, or what?
No, he's definitely eligible.
nah,
yeah.
he's eligible. Yeah.
Yeah, that's ridiculous then, man.
Yeah, that is ridiculous.
David, let's get your point. Where you got Kelce?
I got him number 1.
Oh,
I got him number 1. I got him number 1 because he's been doing this before Patrick Mahomes got here. He's I think he's had the most 1,000 yards tight end, 1,000 yards receiving for most in the tight end. I think he got like 8 or 9 straight. He also break Jerry Rice's record in the playoffs for most receptions. And I think he's right there with him with touchdowns too. Also, if I'm not mistaken, I could be incorrect, but yeah, he always elevates his game in the playoffs when it's time to playoff time, and you can see that from the stats and the impact he has on the game. Yeah, so I just got number 1.
Andrew.
That's a good one. I'm baffling between 1 and 2 with Kelce. As was mentioned, Tony Gonzalez, to me, that he's right up there. I've been baffled with that one for a while. Probably number 2 at the moment. To Tony Gonzalez, but has the potential to overtake Gonzalez for the 1.
Okay. Steve.
Oh, man. Prisoners of the moment. Prisoners of the moment. Y'all locked up, man. This Mahomes and Kelce thing. Look, I mean, when you look at ProFootballReference.com, they got all the stats. I mean, ain't that many really when you think about it. It's probably what Gonzalez, Gronkowski, Kelce, Gates, LaShannon Sharp, and Jason Witten. That's 6. You want to put Kellen Winslow in there, so you want 6. Out of them 6, I'd say I agree with my man. I go T Gonzalez, maybe 1. Accomplishments, he's got 15,000 yards, 111 touchdowns.
Crazy.
I mean, he was doing it too without a Mahomes.
Yep.
And they were getting their butts kicked, losing all those years. I mean, Gronk is Gronk. I mean, this dude played against, again, tough, hard defense, actually got hit. Like, literally, Kelce getting all his yards, ain't nobody touching him half the time. Gronk, is in a sling playing half the time. So he played in a tough era. Again, it's different now. But, I mean, Gronk, though, can't deny the man. Even when he played, he had not the same touchdowns. And Antonio Gates, very underrated, deeply. Dude was a beast. Jason Witten, also, he played for a long time. He was good. And let's not forget tight ends. Part of it is not just receiving, it's also blocking too. You know, he had some good tight ends who could also block. Kelsey don't block for squat. I mean, the same old 5-0 out, and that's it. Like, he really is, if anything, a receiver more than a tight end, if anything. But I think I put Gonzalez. I think Gonzalez, I like Gates. I think Gates was better, personally. I think him and Gronk are there. Maybe Gronk might have been better on injuries. So I think he'd be in a top 5. I'd say maybe 4, maybe 3. That's just me though.
Yeah, solid. I think Big Jit left. I think he come back. He may come back in a minute, but I'll just get to me. For me, I got Kelsey. Oh, his phone died. Okay. Kelsey to me right now is number 3. Number 1 is Tony G. I've been a Tony G fan. I may be a bias, but I don't care. Man, Tony G to me is the most complete tight end. He does it all, man. And he had what was the quarterback? Trent, right? Trent Green.
Oh, Trent Green.
Yeah, Trent Green. He was solid quarterback. But he had, I mean, to me, he was like the example as far as a tight end, how they should play off the field, on the field. I mean, the man did it all. Then number 2 is Gronk for me. Just as far as the dominance factor, nobody could tackle this man. Nobody could stop him. I mean, he could block. Another complete tight end. Very physical at the line of scrimmage. I'm not even going to just say the Super Bowl rings or whatever. I just look at the eye test, and I just think that to me, as far as dominant tight ends, he's probably the most dominant tight end that I've seen. Just as far as his edge that he played with. And then number 3, yeah, I got Kelsey. Kelsey or Gates. I can flip-flop with that because I like Antonio Gates as well when he's with the Chargers. Should be a Hall of Famer. I don't know what's taking him to be in that. But for me, it's Tony G. I know Bryson, you just got back. Tony G, I was saying for me is my GOAT tight end, and Gronk is number 2, and then Kelsey number 3. Since you back on here, bro, tell us who you got. I mean, who you think is Kelsey your GOAT or who you got?
So this is gonna show me being unbiased because I actually got Kelsey as the GOAT. In my personal opinion, he has the most consecutive seasons of 1,000 yards with 7, and at 34, he put up 984 yards, and he came alive when it mattered most in the Super Bowl, and previous game before that. He has passed Jerry Rice in receiving yards. A tight end took over a wide receiver stat, and not just any wide receiver, but arguably, the GOAT at his position. You can't undermine those type of accomplishments. So, along with just the eye test of seeing him, like you said, he always seems like he's open. He's probably the best route runner out of all tight ends, that I've seen. Yeah, I would have him as GOAT. But I do see the points of Tony Gonzalez because of not just how he did it, but who he did it with. I got Kelsey.
But it's a tight end in the league now to me that's better than Kelsey. But he don't get to shine like that because he ain't won a ring. And he on your boy. He on your team, Smooth.
George Kittle. That's because
that boy there is the most. He does it all.
Yeah.
That's true.
That's because he don't have the stats. That's all it is.
And it's right.
That's right.
Yeah. But if he had the same type of career as Kelsey, though, he'll be better than me. I love the way George Kittle blocks, man.
Me too.
That joke is like physical.
He was better on the Jimmy G.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Jimmy G, that was Jimmy G's security blanket. And Jimmy G didn't necessarily know how to spread the ball around.
But here's the question, though. I mean, was we talking about Travis Kelce before Patrick Mahomes got there, though?
Yeah, I think so.
What about everybody else?
Nope.
Because I know for me, I don't know, not really. I think Patrick
Patrick
Mahomes,
Mahomes got there 2020, didn't he?
2018. It's been 6 years.
2018. Nah, he got there 2018. Because Kelsey was started 2016, I believe.
Mm-hmm. Something like that. Yeah.
And he had
Nah,
Alex Smith.
Kelsey started
Alex Smith was his
2014.
quarterback. Alex Smith was his quarterback.
Question
But
though, Cody.
He was
You
pretty
think-
good then too.
Kelsey started in 2014, 11 games.
Kelsey started when?
2014, 11
14, yeah, he's
games.
been there. He's been there a while.
Oh,
So-
he's been there 2014. Okay.
Yeah, he hit 1,000 yards. What 2016, 2017? Before that, he had 800 yards and change.
When did Patrick Mahomes start?
Is it the 18th season?
Yeah, 2018.
18.
Because he was redshirted 1 year.
Yeah,
His
he was
first year.
very
That's
Yeah,
right.
he was. Yeah.
Question though, Cody.
Hmm?
It'd be hard for me to take away just the impact because of a player. Because I mean, that's why I look at Gronk as before Travis Kelce as the GOAT. You take away Tom Brady, I don't know if he's having the dominance he's having. Yes, he was a monster, but
I think so.
you think so? I don't know if he would have been a
also-
monster to the magnitude that he was, especially in the playoffs.
And you can also say this about Kelsey. He's a great yak player too. Also, he's very elusive for a tight end. So even though Patrick Mahomes didn't get there, but he does create a lot of yards after contact too. So
Yeah.
you just put all that on Mahomes.
But Grunt was just a physical specimen, man. We ain't never seen. I mean, his height, build. I mean, he can get open regardless.
Absolute nightmare for defense.
Whoever throwing him the ball to me. I mean, shoot.
Bruiser, I'm taking Gronk. Finesse, I'm taking Kelsey.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, definitely. Kelsey's the better route runner than Gronk and all that.
Until Kelsey go over the middle and get lit up by a linebacker. Oh wait, they don't do that no more. I forgot.
Say that point again, Steve.
I said until you go over the middle and get lit up, but then again, like Gronk used to. Yeah. I mean, Gronk, that was a specimen. I mean,
that's what I'm saying.
He was just
Oh man.
Yeah.
Gronk was like that.
He was huge.
Yes, bro.
Yeah.
That's what I said.
He just didn't know how to fall.
Yeah. I mean,
Mahomes started 2018, by the way.
2018.
He was 18. Okay.
2018.
Okay. Yeah, man. But I don't know. But it's a side question we were just talking about. I don't know why Antonio Gates is not in the Hall of Fame, man. I'm still just baffled by that. That's just disrespect. I mean, and that's another, this is off topic, but I just don't like how the Hall of Fame, how they do players nowadays.
Yeah.
I mean, it took T.O. forever to get in. Randy Moss. I mean, just looking back over the years. And then have y'all seen the new class now?
Yeah.
It's the ego thing, bro.
Yeah.
I was really happy for Andre Johnson.
Yeah.
Andre Johnson,
Yeah.
bro, I mean, man.
That TO thing was just disrespectful. That's all sports writers that did that, man. Because
Bro, for real.
It's no reason why TO shouldn't have been the first ballot Hall of Famer.
Agreed.
Ballot,
Agreed.
bro. No question.
No question.
There's no question about it.
Yeah.
Like
That's crazy.
I'm not an Eagles fan, but what he did in that Super Bowl for the Eagles, man, was probably like my greatest, greatest game in my eyes ever, man. Coming off that injury,
broken leg and all.
Broken leg, man.
Broken leg, bro.
And what happened to McNabb? He was tired. What happened?
hey, wait, hold up. At least we ain't got Kyle Shanahan though. We took an actual L on that one though, bro.
Nah, man. I think the Eagles should have won that one, man. I'm sorry.
That was one of them. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
No, they should in that run. They should have had at least 2 chips in that run.
Yeah, they should have. Yeah. We should have beat the Cardinals in the NFC Championship game too.
Mm-hmm.
I think right now Shanahan is looking like the modern day Eagles Andy Reid, man.
Yeah,
he is.
Only thing is Andy Reid drafted defensive lineman and offensive lineman, but got no offensive help till T.O. got there. Mm-hmm. You got a bunch of bums playing receiver.
We did.
Pinkston and Mitchell and
and then I mean Westbrook was nice, but you ain't have a running back like that though.
Yeah.
So
Westbrook was a baller, man.
We had a great defense.
Yes,
we had a great defense though.
Yeah, defense was good.
Brian Dawkins, man.
That's my favorite safety right there.
Yeah.
Even more reason why San Fran should have 2 chips.
We should. Should have 3, but I'm not gonna get into the Jim Harbaugh one.
Oh yeah, when they turn y'all winning, they turn the lights out in New Orleans, and all of a sudden
We had to do something.
ball. Yeah, I feel him on that one too.
Yeah, that was strange.
Yeah, big time.
Mafia money, telling y'all.
All right, well, man. Well, that's it, fellas. This is, man, another great show. Y'all brought the energy, man, for real. This is very good. Great topics, great conversations. I appreciate all y'all to come on here and do what y'all do, like y'all always do. Steve, Smooth, appreciate y'all coming on once again. And y'all keep on coming, man. We're gonna have more topics to talk about because this is not the end. As Smooth said, the offseason is one of my favorites as well because a lot of acquisitions happen, trades, free agency. The draft is coming up in another month or so, in April. So we'll be back at it. We're gonna talk some basketball too. Did y'all see that dunk contest?
What dunk contest?
I didn't see it.
Right, no, you're right, bro. I'm like, man, Jaylen Brown, you disgust me. I don't know. Never watch.
That was the worst. That was the worst dunk. My man dunked,
Georgia. How you be from Georgia?
You try to do the D Brown. Was that D Brown that did that or something like that?
Nah, that was a dab. That's what it was. That was a dab.
Horrible. Never.
Hey, that McClung one, that first one though, to where he caught it, he jumped over it, caught it again. That was probably the best dunk of the night.
Nah, McClung won this one by default.
Man. Yeah.
He won it by default.
Yeah. I hope that's Buddy name and I ain't just butchering it. I don't really.
That is Mac
Okay.
McClung.
Yeah,
man.
But Jaylen Brown, man, don't come back here again. Don't
3-point shooting contest is the best.
Been disqualified, man. The greatest thing from last night was that shooting contest between Steph and Sabrina.
Yeah,
that was intense for sure.
That needs to be a staple.
Sabrina can shoot though. Yeah,
I was telling my wife I would have never signed up for that, man, because you can have a bad shooting night and that's it for you, man. Your reputation for the whole year is all you lost to a girl, But she got as many points as a lot of the contestants in the 3-point competition. She scored 26 in one round
from the NBA line.
From the
NBA line.
Yeah,
gained so much respect for her, man. But Steph, that boy is cold, man.
Cold. Best shooter ever, bro.
He's cold, man. For him to accept it, like he was not bothered. He was not bothered by anything that was happening. Her high score, nothing. He just went in there and shot the lights out, man.
Hey, they said too, he didn't even warm up like that.
I'm telling you, man.
He just went straight into it. That's cold. Yeah.
Different.
Hey, man.
They need to bring that back.
Yeah. 3-point contest is the best thing, man, to me.
Yeah, that's fun to watch.
That Caitlin Clark girl, she gonna be serious too. I can see her being in something.
She needs to be in that too next year.
I can see.
Yeah, they may try to integrate that now.
Yeah,
that'd be cool. Yeah,
that'd make it more entertaining. Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right, y'all.
Wait, y'all talking about when y'all have a topic? Maybe we'll talk about Steph. Y'all had a talk about Steph being the GOAT.
No,
GOAT overall or GOAT point guard?
I'm just saying anyone. Because you get me started on that too. Just let me prep my notes. Just saying.
That's a topic for another day.
Just another day.
Steve was ready, man.
I see the smoke coming out your head already, Steve.
Yeah, we're gonna get into that basketball for sure.
Oh yeah,
absolutely. But that's gonna do it for tonight, y'all. Like I said, appreciate y'all for tuning in. Those that's watching, appreciate y'all. We had actually a couple of folks. We had at least like 20 folks watching. So
awesome.
We definitely spreading it out there. Continue to like, subscribe to the channel. Please do if you can. And we're gonna definitely be getting out more content as the weeks come on. So y'all fellas have a good night.
All right, y'all.
You too. Been fun.
Y'all be
safe, everybody.
Y'all be safe, y'all.
All right,
you too.
Patrick Mahomes is that dude.
Lamar, there we go.